Alright, so in this video, I'm going to show you how I arranged this beat. I'm going to show you all the samples I used, how I chopped them up, how I arranged it, effects I added, etc. But yeah, let's get into it. So, first thing I'll show you what I used are the drums. So, I'm going to go to the sample edit really quick. Just hold shift and sample edit. Just to show you the original drums I used. So, right here are the drums I used. Honestly, I forgot the sample for this. But if I find it, I'll add it in the description down below. But these are the drums I used for this. So, you know, I ended up chopping them up in the sample edit. And I'm going to go back to the main view right here. So these are how the drums ended up coming out. So I just did. Those are all the chopped up parts of the drums. But honestly, like for this beat, I didn't go crazy with the drums. I mainly used this kick right here, this snare, and then this hi-hat sound. And I was messing with the attack and stuff and the decay, but I ended up just using the original chop, you know, because I tried to make it a little tighter to make it sound more like a hi-hat, but I think with this type of beat, it just sounds good with it. And the pattern that I used is just something simple. I just did, or I did. That's all I really did for the drums in this. Just because I really liked the sample, the melodic sample that I used. I didn't need to go too crazy with the drums. Yo, what's up, guys? Real quick, I just wanted to let you guys know that I dropped a sample pack completely free. It's just drum loops that I used in my previous beats. So, you know, if you like using vintage samples, vintage drum loops, and just chopping them up to use in your beats, definitely check this out. I'll leave the link down below, but here's a little preview of all the drums I have in here, some of the drums. You know, you can use those for your beats, chop them up. But yeah, if you like that, check it out. Again, completely free. I'll leave the link down below. But yeah, let's get back to the video. I did add some effects on here. So if we go to mix, go to effects. Of course, I added the soft clipper just to make it, you know, a little bit punchier. So this is with it off. And then this is with it on. Just to give it a little bit more punch. That kick just sounds crisp too, like especially if you find the right sample. Like if you add that soft clipper, it sounds so crisp. Like if you want those punchy drums. The next thing I did add was a stereo width. I'm pretty sure this plugin's free too. That soft clipper, I think it does cost money. If anyone's looking to get that for the MPC or just on the computer. But I actually did add this free plugin, the stereo width. The reason why I added this, because the sample, a lot of the stuff is panned to the left. So if I turn this off and if I go to the mix, go to volume, or it's panned to the right. So if you see that right here, see how everything's kind of panned over to the right? So what I did was add the effects, go to stereo width, I'll turn this on, go back to mix, and you'll see everything's more centered now. It's a little bit more centered, you know. I still have a little stuff more to the right, but you know, when you listen with headphones, it just sounds a little bit better. Like everything sounds a little bit more mono. And usually for your drums, you want them to sound somewhat mono. So that's what I did for the drums. The next thing that I did was actually add, shout out to STLNDRMS. I used a loop from his drum kit. I'll link that down below too. It's definitely a dope drum kit. But yeah, I chopped up some of his drums, and let me see. I'll show you the drum loop that I used. So if I go to sample edit, so these are the drums that I used. The bounce, so I didn't really use like the drum loop. I just used the drums. I got the drums, chopped them up from this loop. The loop is crazy. If like, definitely check out his drum loops because he's got a swing to his shit. But I just really wanted some good kicks and snares and some hi-hats just to layer the sound of the original drum sample. So what I did, if I go back to main, all I did was just really do the same drum loop. So I just did. And then if I go to mix, I'll play them together. So I'll just solo both of these. Or know what I'll do? I'll solo the drums, and I'll just play I'll solo the drums of the original sample that I used. So this is what it sounds like. And then I recorded the STLNDRMS loop. I just did this. And what I actually ended up doing was, what I originally did was put these on 2 subtracks and then put a compressor on there, but it just sounded a little bit too layered and just over processed in my ears. So all I did was just turn the volume down for the drums, but this is what they sound like together when they're layered. All right, let me do this. Let me mute that. So this is. Just makes it a little bit more punchier. I don't really, it like layering my drums, it all depends. Usually I like the original sample, especially if I'm going for a certain sound, but for this, like, the layer just made sense to me. And I just want to try something different too. So the last thing I added was this sample right here. So I'm gonna solo this. I'm gonna so to avoid copyright, I'm not gonna play the actual. I'm gonna play the sample, but I'm gonna play the pitch down version of the sample. But what I'll do, again, I'll add all these links of all the samples or like sample packs I use in the description down below. But this is the loop that I used, or the sample. Dope sample. Again, I'll link that down below. What I actually ended up doing is using these pads right here. So for example, well, I'll show you the pattern that I use. So I did something like. So I just chopped it up like that. This part right here too. It has that like Alchemist type of. I've been listening to the new Alchemist and Freddie Gibbs. Shit is dope. Dude, one of my favorite. I know I'm from Buffalo, and I know they got beef with Griselda and shit, or Freddie Gibbs, Westside Gunn and shit. But he got. I'm not gonna. Yeah, you already know if you know. But one of my favorite mixtapes, or not mixtapes, but albums of all time is definitely that Madlib and Freddie Gibbs. The Pinata, the shit is insane. Like, the beats on that are the beats I really like. But anyways, just kind of has that sound, at least to me. But yeah, just mainly use this chop right here. But this part with the just gives it a little, you know, a little taste to it. But let me see if I added anything effects wise. So I did add some effects on this. The only thing I added was an enhancer to this sample, and it was just to bump up the low gain. I know, again, you can duplicate this on a different track and then, you know, EQ everything. With this, like, the bass sounded good already. Like, I didn't want to have the bass too crazy, so I just ended up raising the low gains to this, you know, just a little bit, so the bass is just a little bit, it fills the sample and the song up a little bit. But yeah, that's, so with everything together, everything sounds like this. Let me make sure. So I just, everything, all the drums and everything sound like this. Oh, let me do that. Really simple, like the arrangement right here. Just a 4-bar loop, I believe. Yeah, just a 4-bar loop. Sample right here in the layered drums. But yeah, it just sounds like this. And usually when I arrange my beats, I honestly, like, I really just like tracking them out and putting them into Ableton. But, you know, the only thing I would really do is like cut out the drums. Like, if I arranged it, it would be, you know, a part like this, and maybe like, or something like, and then maybe start cutting out the drums for certain parts, you know. For the arrangement part, it would just be cutting the drums off. That's what I usually do. I for all my beats, I just imagine a rapper over it. So I try not to go too crazy with the arrangement or the drums. The drums, depending on the vibe, I can go a little bit crazy, but I know a lot of people are like, my comment section is crazy. You know, I keep it real simple. I don't do anything crazy. It's something that I like, but yeah, that's beat breakdown. Let me know if you guys like these videos too, because usually I just make a beat, not edit it and show you the full process. Obviously I'm still gonna do those, but let me know if you like these type of videos too. It kind of goes to the effects I use, and it's kind of like a faster paced type of video. But yeah, let me know in the comments. But thanks for watching. Peace.